it's good to get back out to work. Our guys continue to be resilient, come in the building, ready to work, ready to explore the next opportunity we have against a really good football team in Pittsburgh. Dynamic players, dynamic coach, well-coached team. Obviously, they have probably, arguably, a few of the best players in the game. Antonio Brown and Ben and Le'Veon. I have a lot of respect for those guys. And on defense, I mean, they're still who they are, led by Lawrence Timmons. So they're a good football team. So it's a tremendous challenge again for us. And we, knowing this division, that's kind of the way it is. You know, it's a tough division. It's the AFC North. No one's really just went out and claimed it. Obviously, Baltimore is leading it, and they beat us twice, so we have great respect for them. But this team, Pittsburgh, we're going to get an opportunity to see them, and I think our players are excited about the opportunity of being at home and playing. So we'll keep working as hard as we can through the rest of this week. It's good to have a healthy team. It's good this time of year, being the situation we are, to have everybody out there battling, getting ready, and practicing and working to get better as we play a real tough opponent this weekend. So we're looking forward to it.
Roethlisberger, and beyond that, characterize what you see when you see
Right. He's good. You know, I've seen Ben so many times, and have great respect for him as a quarterback. He's a guy that's hard to bring down, and he makes a lot of uncommon plays and in a lot of different ways, you know, running around with the ball and throwing the ball down the field. So he's been very good at what he's done for a long time. So tremendous player.
Hugh, have you ever called the clock play in a game?
Yes, I have. Well, I know I've attempted to call one in a game, and honestly, we ended up taking a timeout. The head coach took a timeout, but it's, huh?
Cincinnati?
No, it was in Atlanta. So it's been. I've tried that one before, and it's again, it's a unique play, and they were able to execute it, and obviously gave them a chance to win the game.
Did you call time? Did your team-
No, I wasn't a head coach then. I was a coordinator. That I don't remember exactly what it was against, but I know it was that year.
So did they suspect it?
I don't know. I think we had him, and I think the coach wanted to call timeout to make sure we're calling the right play. But I think we had them lined up the right way, so we didn't make it happen, you know.
Never been tempted to try it again?
Try it again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I have. I mean, but you got to be in the right area of the field to try that because, again, you have a chance for points, whether it's a touchdown like they scored or a chance to kick a field goal. So there's a lot that goes into that.
When you look at Ben, you know, prototypical size, arm, and all those things, and you've been in the AFC North for, you know, a large chunk of your career. Ideally, is that the kind of AFC North quarterback that you really kind of need?
Uh-oh. That's a hot question, Mary Kay. I think what we need is a winning quarterback. Let me put it like that. I mean, obviously, Ben has a lot of great characteristics, and I'm not going to compare him to the guys that are on our roster, but do we want a guy that can win like him? Absolutely. I mean, I think everybody does. I mean, he's won Super Bowls. He's won division titles. He's done everything that you can do. So, you know, I think our team, our organization, we want to have a guy that we can say is a winning Super Bowl division quarterback at some point, and I think that's what we're going to get someday.
This is a question about Kessler, but have you, in your experience, seen a rookie make a sudden jump from one week to the next where the light comes on, or does it never happen like that? It's always kind of a gradual process.
Oh, no, it does. I mean, I think Cody's done some good things, too. You know, I think maybe we've been a little too harsh, you know, on him that way. He's done some things that have been improvements. He's made some jumps in some areas. There's some other areas he wants to make some jumps in, and I think quarterbacks, they do that from time to time. I mean, he's playing with a cast of players week in and week out that I think he's starting to get familiar with, and they're getting familiar with him, and that's just work in progress, you know. But at the same time, you know, I think you know, young quarterbacks, they kind of grow at different rates, you know, from time to time, and we want them to grow up fast as we can. But sometimes guys have to go through their process to get there.
Where do you want, what specific areas do you need to see him take a jump?
Well, I just think running our offense, you know, I think obviously situational football, you know, we got to be very good in order to have a chance to win. You got to be good in third down. You got to be good in scoring zone. You got to be good in 2 minute, and in all the different situations that happens in games, because those things dictate and decide games. So I think the next jump for him is in all those areas, because it's something that you have to do good as an offensive football team.
Do you have any update on our D3 when he might be able to start practicing for you?
I think it's soon. Obviously he's still working. He's not totally cleared to go out there and practice yet, but I think we're very close. I think we're getting there, and hopefully we'll get him out there sooner rather than later.
It won't be this week, you don't think?
I don't think so. I don't think it'll happen this week.
What's the hesitancy right now? Is it you want to make sure that he can take full contact, like could take a hit game simulated?
I think with all of these situations, obviously I'm not the doctor, but I think it's more making sure that everything's healed up properly, so that when he goes out, that obviously we won't be able to tackle him or do those things, but that when you start exerting energy and practicing at a high level, that all of a sudden there's not a setback. So I think we're just being very cautious and making sure that everything is done correctly, so when he does go out there, that he can stay out there.
How do you think he has handled, you said you had to talk with him, and he's coming off of benching. What are you seeing in him as he's now on the practice field again?
Cody?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Cody's fine. No, he's out there working, ready to go, bright-eyed, excited, about the opportunities, playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. You better be ready, So, no, he is. He's, again, I think we've really read into a little bit more of last week. I mean, I understand what everybody felt, but I don't think he looked at it that way. I think it motivated him. I think he's preparing himself to go play, and he'll walk out there and go play well this week. That's what he's got to do.
Josh McCown and Andrew Hawkins were excused from practice Monday. They ended up going to Washington, D.C. To talk to members of Congress.
Uh-huh.
For you, when you see your players do that, do you think that's an important thing for them to do, to use their voices in ways like that?
I think it's huge. I think you're talking about two young men on our team that I have a lot of respect for, who I think have a voice in that locker room, that when they come back, there's messages that they can bring back. I think they both really enjoyed their experience. They had asked me about this well in advance of the other day, and I was totally for it, because what a tremendous opportunity for them to have a voice in some serious issues that are going on, and for them to learn, different ways that we're trying to do things better. And they will carry that message into our locker room with our younger players. And they're two guys that I think our guys look up to.
We'll ask them, obviously, but did they address the team in a team setting, or is that up to them how they do it?
That's kind of up to them how they do it, because, that locker room's theirs, and I kind of leave that for them. And I'm sure they will. And I'm sure guys have asked them, throughout today, why wasn't you here? And I'm sure they were able to share, their experiences with them.
Is there a sense of pride when 5 guys go and 2 of them are your guys?
Yeah, because it says that our guys are well thought of that way, and I'm very proud of that. That's a huge accomplishment. That doesn't happen. There's a whole bunch of players, as you said, that wasn't there. So I think somebody thinks very highly of their influence in the National Football League.
Do you believe players, especially as they kind of get older in their careers, kind of have that responsibility?
Yes, I do. I think that's part of giving back, and is part of being somebody that is recognized in the league. But I think more so than that, just giving back, to what this league has given them, a tremendous opportunity.
Along those same lines, did you find it necessary whatsoever to address your team about Donald Trump being elected president or anything like that? I mean, some people did. I mean, some coaches talk to their clubs about that.
I'm not going there, Mary Kay. I'm not going to dabble in the politics thing. No, I got enough problems of my own, so I'm not going to get caught up in that one.
Hey, Hugh, I know frustrating, 0-10 is frustrating,
Mhm.
that's number one. Periodically, you've talked about how this isn't your offense yet because of what you've been dealt. Is it frustrating to you that you have these 2 receivers, Pryor and Coleman now, who just, dynamic, big, fast on the one and dynamic on the other, and you're still unable, your offense, unable to exploit them yet?
It can get difficult at times, no question. But we just got to keep working, Tony. Honestly, again, they're good players, and I want to see them play as well as they can play. But it takes a unit, as you're saying. It's not just one guy. I know, again, a lot of that, falls on the quarterback's shoulder, but it's not just him. I want you guys all to know that. It takes the other 10 guys to do their jobs, too, at a top level to play really good offensive football. And that's my job, and the rest of our coaches' job is to get those guys there. And we haven't done it as well as I think we can. I'm not talking about the coaching or the players. I'm just talking about in general, everyone. And we just got to keep working at it. We got 6 more opportunities to try to get there and get that good feeling that I think an offensive team has to have with confidence and play in that kind of furry, that kind of mindset. And I think we'll keep working at it.
Alfred, I just want to follow up. You had so many projects this first year as you came aboard here, and upgrading that position had to be in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
How satisfied are you that position's been upgraded?
I think we're well on our way there. We have young, talented players. Another emerging player who's never played the position. A young guy who we drafted number 1, who I think is very talented, and I think his best football's ahead of him. And so I feel good that we've done that part extremely well. We just got to continue to work to get them playing as well as I think they can play on an every down basis.
Well, production is flattened out.
Mm-hmm.
And
My
that
fault.
would raise a question about whether he has the talent to be.
There's no question in my mind he does. I'm not trying to cut you off, but I take responsibility for that when it comes to Crowell. I mean, I think this guy's a really, really good player, and we have not rushed the ball as well over several weeks now, and that's disappointing. And I got to do a better job. Got to put him in better situations because I think he's a very, very talented player.
How much is that? I don't think you've started the same offensive line more than 2 weeks in a row. I mean,
Yeah.
Is that how?
It's tough. It's tough.
strange Is that for you?
Very, but that's the way it goes sometimes. We've had one of those uncommon years that way where we've gotten guys hurt, whether it be in practice and games, and it's just been that part's been difficult. But again, it happens. I think everybody in the league is going through some of those things, and so I don't look at it and go, oh, woe is me. We just got to find a way. And we plug guys here and there, and I think it's a credit to our players and a credit to the coaches to keep trying to find ways to get it done.
You talk about sometimes seeing plays there to be made that aren't made. How frustrating is that as a play caller to design it and then have it, looks like it should be able to be pulled off, and then for whatever reason it not get?
Absolutely, that's tough. That is. You like you say, you see things and you know how it should go, and when it doesn't go that way, you go, oh my gosh, and that's just part of it. I've been in that situation before, and I've watched teams come out of it. I've been in that situation before, and you don't come out of it, because it's for so many different reasons. It's not just one person. It's a unit issue, and maybe just the pressure of doing it, playing and play out, just not ready for it. And so we got to get there because at some point in time here, we're going to be a really good offensive football team. We're just not there yet.
The quarterback significantly improve his arm strength. And have you seen anybody do it?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen guys get stronger, can throw the ball further, from year 1 to year 2. But Mary Kay and everyone here, I will say this, when we get to be where we want to be, we're not going to talk about any of those things, That's the one thing as we move forward at that position that I really don't want to spend time with, because we're going to make sure that whether it's Cody or someone else or whoever, he's going to be able to play the game the way we want it played, and you guys will know. You won't have to ask those questions. You're going to feel good about all those characteristics that you're mentioning.
You mentioned a couple times how rookies, maybe the pressure doing it right, playing and play out gets to them. How do you think that shows up?
Well, I think it'd be different if we were playing some not very good teams. We're playing some really good teams, and the pressure of doing things in whether it's situational football, third down, when everybody in the stadium knows you got to throw the ball, or you got to pass protect, you got to make this first down. That's pressure. You're in a scoring zone and you need a score. and you got to make that play to score. That's that's pressure. 2-minute drills, that's pressure. And some guys are just not ready for that. That's having to do it right on a consistent basis, play in and play out for 55, 60 snaps is tough. Normally you get to take a blow as a young player, or you're learning, but you're having to do it, and that's hard.
I know tackles are an unofficial stat. Some coaches tabulate them different than others. But somewhere in the universe, Chris Kirksey has more tackles than anyone in the league.
Mhm.
Some website or whatever. With that background, can you just talk about the year he's had and how much value do you put in that statistic?
That means he's making plays, and that's what football is about. It's about making football plays, and part of it, a huge part of it, as you know, is tackling. I think he's had a tremendous season. He's got 6 more games to go to earn the right to say that he's had a really good year. Thus far, he's done great. I think he's accepted the challenge of playing extremely physical and tough. I think he's done that. He's a 3-down linebacker. He can play on 1st and 2nd and 3rd down. He runs. He's made some explosive plays, and he needs to continue to do so, and I think he will.
Something was painted in the end zone today on finish. Is that the theme here going forward over these last 6
Absolutely.
games? What goes into just getting these guys to finish the right way for you?
Well, I think the second half's something that we really talked about. We need to finish a game. I think, as you guys all know, we've been up at halftime about 6 of these opportunities, and normally that's where you want to be. For some reason we haven't been able to finish it, and to make that winning a reality, and that's what you have to do. You got to finish games, and we're going to count this thing down. There's 6 of them left, and I told those guys that, and that's what it's there for. And we're going to try to finish this season the right way because we need to.